Hello, welcome to knothytarot. I'm Ina, and this is the first on my channel, a pick-up pile reading. So I've always wanted to do one of these, and I suspect there'll probably be more coming. If that isn't your thing, then, click away, unsubscribe, I guess. Although, I hope you don't. I hope you stick around. Just because I enjoy doing these. It's as simple as that. I like doing these. This is my first time doing one in front of the camera. I've been practicing because they're not easy. These are not easy readings to do. I really wanted to provide one for all of you today. So we have 3 piles in front of us. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So pile 1 says, Loka Samasta, harmony for all. Pile 2 says, Har, Hare, Hari, Wahe, Guru, the flow of creativity. And pile 3 says, Magic mantra, open yourself to the magic of life. So I'll give you a minute to meditate on these piles, see which one you feel most drawn to, whether that's just one of them or several or even all of them, whatever your intuition is telling you. Okay, pile number 1, let's take a look at your cards. So we have inspiration with the parietal, is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Yeah, gonna try and make sure it's not crooked. Okay, we have I come from a different planet. Okay. I love the Morgan's Tarot. Okay. We have empathy. We have independence. Okay, so we empathy is moon in Pisces and independence is moon in Aquarius. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards. Okay, 3 of Cups. Three of Swords. Okay. Ace of Wands. And the Hierophant. Okay. So I'm seeing a few different possibilities for my pile 1. I'm seeing that this week there's a special focus on group dynamics and how you interact and how you operate within a group. So it could be within your family or your friends, some other sort of social group or online community, or classmates, co-workers, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of emphasis on that sort of thing. There's a few cards that are indicating that the focus is on groups, how you interact, how you operate within groups, and your sense of belonging. So I'm getting the sense that your sense of belonging is being challenged this week. Maybe something has happened that has made you feel uncomfortable, or like you don't belong in this group. Maybe you're joining a new community and you feel like you don't quite fit, or you've been forced into a group or a community because of circumstances, and you really feel like an outsider, right? I also get that impression from the the moon in Pisces and the moon in Aquarius card. These two signs are probably the most outsider signs of all the zodiac. So, and in conjunction with I come from a different planet, I'm getting the sense that you feel like an outsider, or you're feeling like an outsider right now. You might be one of these two signs, or you might have these signs present in your natal chart, but not necessarily. These cards are just pointing to these two energies of Pisces and Aquarius that simultaneously talk about your relationship to others and your relationship with yourself, but also your relationship with yourself in the context of a bigger other group, or like a wider context, right? Especially with Aquarius. Aquarius is all about how you fit or don't fit into society, especially with the Independence card. So yeah, I'm getting the sense that there are some issues surrounding communication right now, actually, with the Three of Swords next to the Three of Cups. Maybe this is a group that has something, maybe this is a group that that is especially geared towards art or crafts, because we have the inspiration card here, and also with Pisces and the Ace of Wands present, I get the sense that there's creativity involved in some form or another. So yeah, it might be like, I don't know, an art class, maybe, just to give a concrete example. It might not be, but just to go off something, it might be an art class that you've joined and you don't feel like you quite fit in, or you're having trouble making friends. That's also a possibility. Maybe you are either quite shy, or you're maybe a bit standoffish, or maybe hard to approach, so people don't approach you. Or, you just have difficulty communicating. You have difficulty approaching people, right? Yeah, I don't really subscribe to the idea of star seeds. That's not really my personal practice, but maybe that resonates with you. So it might be something to do with that. Maybe you feel like you're way too different from everyone else, and that perhaps is affecting your self-esteem. Yeah. What else? I'm curious about the Hierophant. So I'm going to pull some more cards for this, because I want to see what the Hierophant has to do with this. So yeah, actually this does tie into, this being some sort of group dynamic, or a setting where you're learning something. So maybe school, some classes, a course that you're taking, maybe some training, some work training that you're participating in. Yeah, I'm leaning towards like school, or just extra classes, activities, that kind of stuff. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles. Okay, what does the Hierophant mean in the context of this reading is what I want to know. So We got the Two of Pentacles. I'll pull 3 or 4 cards, I think. 9 of Wands. Okay. Oh, okay. The other 2 cards already jumped out. So let's look at them. Let's see, you got the Moon and Death. Okay, interesting. Let me bump these up a bit. Okay, so we got 2 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, and Death. So this is, you know, I think these are growing pains, right, with the Death card. You're transitioning and it's not easy for you because you've often maybe in your life felt like an outsider in different contexts. So, you know, this is not easy for you whenever you have to meet a new group, whenever you have to find yourself within a new setting among different people, you struggle. So maybe this week you're, again, like I said, you're joining a new group or you're meeting new people and you're struggling. But it's very much a transitional phase, right? Death talks about transitional phases, not just transformation, which is often what death gets associated with, or like endings, but also transitions, transitioning from one phase of your life to the next. Yeah, the Nine of Wands kind of ties into that independence card with, you know, that kind of that standoffish nature where you feel quite alone in your own, you know, you feel a bit separate from everyone else. Maybe because your experiences are really different from other people's. And with the Two of Pentacles, I'm inclined to believe now that if it's not school related, it's maybe work related. So maybe you're starting a new job and you, of course, don't quite fit in yet. You're just beginning to meet your co-workers, or, you know, you don't know where you fit into the bigger picture. And with the Moon, I see, okay, that's interesting. So we have 2 Moon cards here and we have the Moon appearing here again. So there's a lot of lunar energy going on here. So a lot to do with how this affects your emotions, how this affects your identity as well, how you identify, how you see yourself in regards to other people. So relative to other people, how you view yourself. You're someone who maybe is more of a solitary person, or more of someone who spends a lot of time alone, or you feel most comfortable when you're alone. You might be a bit introverted. And yeah, these are fears that are emerging for you. So maybe you're already thinking, so maybe this is something that hasn't happened yet that will happen this week or in the coming weeks, and you're just looking ahead and you're worrying about this, that, you know, you're worrying that you're not going to fit in because your past experiences have led you to believe that you're different, that you're maybe too different, that you don't fit in. You're a bit of an oddball, you know? Yeah. You're very unique though, and that's not a bad thing. You'll always find people you can connect with, right? There's always going to be someone you can connect with in a group. You might not connect with the group at large, but there's always going to be someone that you can find, you can bond with over, you know, interests, hobbies, I don't know, just even just similar personalities. There's always going to be someone that you find that you can connect with the most. I've personally, speaking from my own experience, I am, you know, I'm seeing myself reflected in this spread, and my moon is in Pisces as well, so yeah, I really see myself reflected in this spread as well. And I've always found it easier to talk to people on a one-on-one basis rather than, you know, in a group setting. Some people really thrive in that kind of setting, but I personally don't, and you might be the same. But there's always going to be someone you can approach. So maybe take it on as a challenge, but if you feel really uncomfortable, you can always try and find just the one person in the group that you think you can bond with and approach them on a one-on-one basis, right? Because that will kind of ease you into the group and will help you feel comfortable. When you have at least one person that you can bond with, that you can relate to, it's much easier to fit into the group dynamic. Yeah, and that there will be someone you can, with empathy, I'm seeing there will be someone you will connect with. You're kind of worrying in advance of this thing happening, but there's nothing to really worry about. You're gonna make friends, you know? It'd be really, really difficult. You'd have to be a really standoff-ish person to not make at least one friend in this group. You know, all the cards indicating that you will make friends. It's just a transitional phase that you're going through right now. So there's nothing to really be scared of. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Let's pull a final card, one last card from the Animal Apothecary. So, one final message for our pile 1. I'm getting this card. Yeah. Ooh. Focus on the big picture. Okay, yeah, focus on the big picture. We have a honeybee, a bumblebee there, and I don't know if this is a falcon, a hawk. I think it's a falcon. I'll check the guidebook, but yeah, focus on the big picture. I'm seeing that you're focusing on details, on smaller things that within the context of the bigger picture are, you know, things that you shouldn't really be concerned about. Things are going to go just fine. And also, you know, focusing on the bigger picture again does call to mind, you know, again, how you fit into, how this reading is about you fitting into groups. Let's look at what the guidebook says, because I'm curious. So let's read what the guidebook says. Okay, so it is a hawk. Focus on the big picture. Visionary hawk. The Visionary Hawk card comes with a powerful message about a higher perspective. The image of the hawk coming out of the eye asks you to transcend your current perception and see the bigger picture. Hawk is aligned with the lighthouse that focuses its light on the bee, which represents your purpose and desire. Hawk says you must expand your perception to encompass a higher viewpoint and focus on the thing you want. Then victory, represented by the crown, is the only next logical step. Hawk is asking you to take control of your thoughts. Stop playing victim to external circumstances and own the truth that you create your own reality. Declare that your life is going to be the most fulfilling, prosperous, and joyful you have ever experienced. Proclaim that you will overcome all obstacles, your self-doubt, and your insecurities because you have a gift that you and only you were created to share. Regardless of whether your current situation is less than desirable, this card comes as a confirmation that something beautiful is awaiting you. But the first step is to make that decision to get out of your ego's limited perception. Testify to the world and yourself that something big is awaiting you. Not even your disbelief in yourself will stop you from fulfilling your purpose. You were created for greatness. Hawk's medicine asks you to immediately snap out of whatever discouraging story may be playing in your mind and immediately focus on the power of all the achievements that await you. That was beautiful. I think that sums it up better than I ever could. So pile 1, that's what I'm seeing for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found it entertaining. Hope it resonated. And if not, as they say, take what resonates and leave the rest. And I'll see you around. Bye. Okay, pile number 1, let's look at your cards. So you got Grace with elbows. I love this. You got As above, so below. You got Mercury in Cancer with intuition. Also the Three of Cups, Mercury in Cancer. And Mercury in Scorpio with extremism. Okay, that was extremely crooked. Hopefully that fixed it. Okay, so let's take a look at your tarot cards. Okay, Ace of Wands. Four of Swords. Queen of Cups. And one more. The Empress. Okay. So I'll keep these cards on the side just in case we need to pull any more clarifiers. So with the Empress, the Ace of Wands and the Creativity card, I'm seeing that my pile twos are engaged in some sort of creative project right now. And it might be tied to work, or it might just be a hobby that you pursue in your own time. But I'm seeing with these two Mercury cards and the Swords that it probably has something to do with writing. There's probably a lot of writing involved, because Mercury is the planet of verbal and written communication, so in other words, writing. So you might be editing or writing something at work, or you're writing poetry, or you're working on a book, something along those lines. And the other possibility I'm seeing is that you're journaling a lot this week. So you might be art journaling, creative journaling, even tarot journaling, because with the Queen of Cups and the Mercury in Cancer card, I'm seeing that you're expressing yourself through writing. So yeah, this might be a really emotional week for you, so you'll need that as a form of emotional support, or maybe even just because you feel particularly inspired to write right now. Yeah, the Queen of Cups is reflective and introspective, so you're getting in touch with your innermost emotions and your thoughts a lot this week. And also, I get the sense that you've recently been through some sort of creative block, like a writer's block, because of the Ace of Wands and the Flow of Creativity card. I'm seeing in both cards, you can see these two like rivers or waterfall, in this case, just running through this like dry desert-like landscape. So that indicates to me that you've recently you're recently coming out of a creative block, and the ideas are just flowing again. So yeah, you're very reflective, very introspective this week, very sensitive as well. And with the As Above, So Below card, I also see like I see a mirage of some sort, so that also alludes to water in a desert. And that calls back to, again, the introspective, reflective nature of the Queen of Cups and the water element in general. So yeah, you're tapping into, right now you're really sensitive to and tapping into this spiritual, almost divine energy source that guides you. Write down your dreams this week, journal about them, because you might be receiving messages or guidance from your spirit guides or your ancestors or spirit in general, whatever you believe in. So pay close attention to that kind of thing. But yeah, you're really like intuitive, you're really in touch with this aspect of yourself, this intuitive, psychic aspect of yourself right now. And with the elbows card, and the Four of Swords, I'm seeing you lost in thought a lot, so maybe even overthinking, but more so daydreaming, lost in thought, because weirdly enough, when we're thinking, or when we're like deep in thought, we often lean on our elbows, funnily enough. So that's an interesting synchronicity. So yeah, I see you lost in thought, conceptualizing and thinking things through. Yeah, really kind of thinking in the abstract sometimes. Just a lot of thoughts are going through your head right now. And also with grace, it ties back to the Queen of Cups, because the Queen of Cups is very graceful. So that also suggests to me that you're not having any kind of trouble connecting with and attuning to, again, this aspect, this like psychic abilities, these psychic abilities, because the Queen of Cups is like a clear channel for this kind of thing. So you're embodying that ability right now. Let's pull some more cards, because I'm really curious about this extremism card, so I want to pull some clarifiers. Okay, so how does extremism play into your week? How does it play into your writing, into your creative projects, maybe your job even? Okay, I'm feeling this card. Okay, the Hierophant. Okay, that kind of ties into that as above, so below. Again, that connecting with that bridge. Yeah, like a bridge between the divine and the mundane. Okay, so you might be a teacher as well. You might be teaching or imparting knowledge of some kind. You might be learning a new skill, actually. Maybe you're employing a new skill so you've learned a new skill and you're using it in your creative project. Maybe you've taken writing class recently and that's inspired you, and now you're writing a lot. Maybe you've just watched something recently that's really made your imagination like pop off. Yeah, and has really connected you to your like divine inspiration. Okay, so okay, there you go. Ten of Swords, extremism. Okay, that does track. Yeah, that kind of tracks with the overthinking aspect as well. You might be prone to self-sabotage, I think, this week. I think you might be really should I pull one more card? Yeah, just in case. I think you're going to be really prone to self-critique, self-criticism, inner dialogues that aren't helpful. Yeah, self-sabotage. I think you're a highly sensitive person, but you're also very, very critical of yourself, and it's the kind of criticism that you wouldn't really necessarily extend to other people. So you would never like criticize other people or talk about other people the way you talk about yourself. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. And I'm feeling this. I'm feeling these two. Wait. No, I'm feeling this one as well. Okay, that should be enough. So we had the Hierophant, the Ten of Swords. I'm just gonna place these on top. The King of Wands. Okay, yeah, that tracks. And the Ten of Cups. It's beautiful. So yeah, you get a lot of fulfillment from a lot of like spiritual, personal fulfillment from indulging, you know what I mean, participating in these creative endeavors. That really is that is the main source of your happiness, being creative. That is the main source of your happiness. I'm seeing that you're just naturally a very creative person. You might be an artist, again, you might be a writer, anything that involves, your creative faculties, so to speak. And that will really be the main source of fulfillment for you this week. But be careful. I'd say be careful about the self-sabotage, be careful about the inner critic. Don't let it take over you. The saying goes, perfection is the enemy of everything that's good. Something along those lines. So, yeah, just there's a cautionary word here about taking things too far and being too critical of yourself. Going to extremes. Trying to attain that perfection, aiming for that is a self-sabotaging move, really. It's when we try to avoid confronting something that we feel insecure about by distancing it from ourselves. So when we try and aim for perfection, we're essentially distancing ourselves from the end result because we feel insecure about ourselves. We feel insecure about what we're able to do. So we try and make it impossible for us to, if we try and aim for perfection, and if something we do isn't perfect, then we have a good excuse to not do something, not finish it, or just not put 100% into it. So just be careful, just be aware of that. And finally, I'm gonna pull one of these cards from the Animal Apothecary, just as some final advice. Okay, feeling this card actually. Master Manifester, okay. You are really tapping into your full creative capacities right now. That energy is really, really potent, really present for you right now. So make the most of it if you can. You don't have to be perfect. Just be yourself. Just do what you can, and whatever you do is be secure in the knowledge that when you're giving your best, that is perfection, right? Your best is already perfection. You don't need to aim for something that is outside of yourself, something that isn't there, that doesn't exist, because when you're already giving the most, when you're already doing the most, right, giving your 100%, 110%, you're already perfecting your craft, right? Perfection, I think the trap that we fall into is thinking that perfection is the end result, when rather perfection is a process, right? Perfection is the process of getting better, of improving, rather than an end result. Okay, part number 2, that's what I'm seeing for you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it entertaining or helpful. Hopefully it resonated. If it didn't, take what resonated and leave the rest, as they say. So yeah, I'll see you around. Hi, pile 3. Let's take a look at your cards. Okay, so we have Blessing and Burden. Okay. We have You are experiencing an illegitimate feeling. Love that. We have Egotism with Mars in Leo. And we have Moon in Taurus with exaltation. Okay. So let's take a look at your tarot cards and see what we get. Mars in Leo, I believe, is I think it's the Seven of Wands. Yeah, I think it's the Seven of Wands. Okay. Ooh, okay, we have the Seven of Swords. Let me see if that... Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe if I bump it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, this card is Seven of Cups, okay. We have Justice. And we have okay. Four of Wands, okay. So pile 3, you have some interesting astrological placements. So like I said before, the egotism card with the sun in, sorry, not the sun, Mars in Leo, is in fact the Seven of Wands in the tarot. So we have 3 sevens. And then we have a lot of Venus energy because we have Venus in Scorpio with the Seven of Cups. We have Venus in Aries with the Four of Wands. And then we have 2 Venus signs. We have Libra with Justice and Taurus. So already I get the sense that, here's what I'm getting, right? I'm getting the sense that you are a deeply spiritual person, or you have a magical practice of some kind. So maybe you identify as a witch, or you know, you have a witchy practice. I kind of saw that in this magic mantra card, and I got the sense that with this blessing and burden card, right, I got the sense that this practice for you has been incredibly fulfilling, and this practice has helped you grow as a person. It's brought so much to your life. But there's the possibility that people in your life, the people around you, don't understand that. They don't understand what it is that this practice brings to your life, and they don't believe you, perhaps. There's just a lot of doubt, and they question your values. You might even have some people in your life who really question your practices and put you on the spot, might even not agree, might disagree with your practices. They might be really against New Age spirituality or witchcraft or whatever it is that you practice. They might not understand it. I mean, they definitely don't understand it, right? But it's not, that doesn't make your practice invalid. But I'm seeing that this week you're going to feel quite invalidated in what you do. So it might not be specific to a spiritual practice, but that's kind of what I'm getting from this. So this Venus energy does align with personal values as well as material possessions. But I'm seeing that, yeah, there's like magic involved in some capacity, because with the sevens, we have a number that is very closely tied to magic and mystery, right? The 7. And also I'm seeing that reflected in the 7 of Cups, but I'm also seeing you having to go behind people's backs sometimes, maybe even your family. Maybe your family doesn't know or doesn't understand, doesn't get you, doesn't agree with your practices, and they question you. So you kind of have to practice in secret, or maybe you're in the broom closet. You feel like the people around you just wouldn't understand if they knew. Or if they do know, then they bring it up in conversation, they argue with you. Again, they put you on the spot, and they question your integrity as a person even. They question whether you're sane. And, that's not a nice feeling to have. It is really invalidating. And I get the sense that you're really struggling with that. And you want to get to a point where you're very much comfortable with your practice, in the sense that whether people agree with it or not, you're not going to be you're not going to feel like you're being subjected to interrogations all the time. You're going to feel safe. There's very much a feeling of safety and security with Taurus and the moon in Taurus. And right now you feel attacked, right? So you want to get to a point in practice where you don't feel attacked. Even if people don't agree with you, you're not going to feel like you're being questioned, because you won't care. You won't give a fuck. So yeah, just to say, this is a confirmation that, with blessing and a burden, it's like this practice has brought you so much, and yet it's also bringing you a lot of problems. So this is confirmation that you're on the right track. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing, right? I just see that you feel invalidated, but there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You're perfectly in your right to practice whatever you want to practice as part of your spirituality or religion. That's completely up to you, and there's nothing wrong with it. But how can we, I'm going to pull some clarifiers, how can we navigate these feelings? How can we, because we're not going to convince people, right, of something they just don't believe in, something they're always going to mock or question. Some people are flexible, some people can change their minds, but I'm seeing that the people in your life more so are very stubborn, right? And they're very set in their beliefs. There are a few people in your life who really understand what you're going through, what you do, and so you have little to no support. So you might feel really isolated. You don't feel like you're in good company, essentially. So how can we navigate these feelings? How can we navigate these feelings? Or how can we approach this issue, right? How can we navigate this issue? Okay. Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, lovely. Gonna pull 3 more cards, because I've been pulling like 4 cards for the other 2 piles. So how can we navigate these feelings? How can we navigate this issue in our lives? Okay, so we have the moon. We have the 8 of Wands, okay. So I'm getting direct communication. Not going around, not caring, not going around people's backs. Possibly coming out of the broom closet, if it's safe, of course. Okay. And the Hierophant. Oh my god, we've gotten the Hierophant in each and every single pile. So yeah, how can we navigate these feelings? So in terms of, whether your religious or spiritual experience is valid, that it is, you've got nothing to worry about, really. That's not even, even though you're feeling questioned, that's not even a question of whether it is valid or not. It is. But yeah, this really ties into people's fears, especially if you practice witchcraft or something along those lines. A lot of people are going to have certain reservations or fears surrounding that topic, because there's a lot of misconceptions, right? we as a society haven't really done well by witches and magical practitioners, and there's still a lot of stigma and a lot of myth busting, you know, that we have to get done. There's a lot of misconceptions that we have to eradicate and get rid of. So that's not all up to you, of course. It's not your sole responsibility or your job to educate people. Some people are just never going to learn, and you have to accept that. But I feel like with how present Venus is in this spread, I feel like, oh, again, we have the Hierophant with Taurus again, so that's another Venus sign. And the Queen of Pentacles is also tied to the Earth signs, so Taurus. But I feel like this is telling you to stand in your authenticity. Be proud of what you have, of what you've achieved, of where you're at. Feel there's like, you know, with the Queen of Pentacles and the Moon, there's like this maternal instinct. There's an instinct within you to protect and defend your right to, you know, your religious right to have a spiritual practice or a magical practice. And I'm definitely getting the sense that you should stand by it, and you should be firm about what you believe in. You should never let other people influence your opinions, your own beliefs, or make you fill you with self-doubt. Never let other people darken your doorway, you know, with their own misconceptions and their own hang-ups, right? That is not a reflection of you, that is a reflection of them. So I'd say just clearly be open about it if you can, you know, if it's safe. I'm not getting the impression that it's unsafe for you to be open about it, but, you know, don't drop it at a family dinner. That's not what I'm saying, but if someone asks, just be open about it. And, you know, set firm boundaries. I'm also getting that you need to set firm boundaries, because again, there's just going to be people who don't understand, and they're never going to understand. So you have to question whether you want these people in your life. You have to weigh, right, the pros and cons of having certain people in your life. Maybe you do want them in your life, but they're never going to understand. So maybe that's just something that you're going to have to accept. And they're going to have to accept, of course. But yeah, love yourself, you know? All this is telling you that you're a magical being. You have every right to interact with the world in this way. You're very in touch with, yeah, I am inclined to think that you do like witchcraft or something because of the Queen of Pentacles. You know, you have a probably very earthy practice. Yeah, don't let people's religious hang-ups influence you. Be open, be direct. Don't fight with people, don't argue, but be firm. Yeah, just be confident. Be confident, and be even little bit egotistical, right? Be a little bit arrogant about your beliefs. You deserve to be. Just say it with just embrace it and say it with no shame. Be like, yeah, I'm a witch, and so. And, you know, if people ask you about it, or if people question you, you're like, well, that's just my, you know, it's my spiritual practice, it's my religious belief, and that's it. That's all I'm willing to say on the subject. And you just move on to the next topic, right? It's like, it's not even up for debate. Yeah, it's not up for debate. It's your religion, it's your belief system, and that is not up for debate. A lot of people think it is up for debate, but it's not. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Oh, wait, no. I have to pull one more card for you. So, one final message from the Animal Apothecary. So, okay, yeah, sure, why not? The illusion, okay. The illusion. I'm getting again the sense that people just have their misconceptions, and people really have no right to argue with you. Like, they can not agree with you, but no one knows no one knows if their religious beliefs are the right ones, that there isn't really such thing as right religious beliefs, like correct ones. Everyone has a right to believe what they want to believe and have their own cosmology, have their own spiritual practices. So no one can argue really with any sort of factual evidence that what you practice or what you believe in is real or not. Only you can decide if it's real. Let's see what the guidebook says. I'm really curious about what the guidebook says about this one. So, the illusion. Okay, the illusion, phantom shark. In this card, we see a harpoon searching the sea for a dangerous shark that appears only in your mind's eye. Phantom shark has a direct message for you today. Your current fear, worry, or insecurity is all an illusion. You tricked yourself into hunting for a thing that doesn't even exist. By putting so much attention and effort into combating or avoiding what you are afraid of, you are simultaneously engaging and fueling it. Most fears quite literally exist only in our minds. When you feel small, insecure, or controlled by fear, this is not your true self. This is your programmed self, ruled by the limbic system, ego. Okay, there's ego. Past traumas, and the false marketing that always shames us into not feeling good enough. This illusion will tell you that you are not worthy, make you feel scared, keep you with someone who treats you poorly, and make you feel the need to compete with and be better than others. The challenge lies in how powerfully real this illusion appears. It colors every aspect of your reality, like a cloud of thick grey smoke. While you cannot always avoid being caught in the smoke, you can recognize when you are in it. This is the most important part of seeing clearly. You must first understand that you are in an illusion before you can escape it. The more you become cognitively aware of the smoke, the less power it has over you. Right now, Shark's medicine for you is to understand that whatever currently brings you fear is not actually the truth. You are safe and everything is going to work itself out. Do not make big decisions when the grey smoke is visiting. Soon you will see clearly. Okay, that was great. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you, Pal 3. I hope you found that entertaining, helpful. I hope it resonated. If it didn't, as they say, take what resonated and leave the rest. So, yeah, that's it. I'll see you around. Bye.